There's a new king for best travel bag under $100, and unsurprisingly, it's the updated version of the last winner. I spent time with the T67 Travel backpack from Tomtoc, and in this video, I'll cover the differences from the T66, the good, the bad, who it's for, and how it competes with bags over twice the price. My review of the previous T66 is my most viewed video on the channel. I've reviewed bags at all prices, but that video's popularity shows that a lot of people just want a great travel bag at an affordable price. I'll start with the changes in this new version, almost all of them being good. And the price did increase by $15, so keep that in mind as I'm going down this list. They fixed my two largest complaints, the first being size, so here's the stats of both. Exact same dimensions, but the T67 is listed at 2 liters less, and that's actually the true size of both bags. I knew the T66 didn't feel like a true 40 liters, so I'm glad they corrected the volume just so people know what they're getting. They also updated to light colored fabric on the inside so I could actually see my stuff, and that's basically standard on all travel bags. And it was, to me, the top reason why the older version felt a little less premium. The opening got larger, which made this T67 easier to pack, but in doing so, they decreased the space here, so this divider doesn't stay up as well on the new version, like it keeps falling down. Kind of a miss because it never slipped loose on the T66. The zippers are upgraded to matte black YKK lockable zippers, again, just in line with more premium bags. The front panel got a big redesign, and I can see people split on this. So they updated to a minimal logo in black metal, and that's a big win. Tomtoc must have watched my other review because I removed the logo on my T66 bag, this one isn't mine, and they kindly messaged me to not remove the logo. Well, if it wasn't so in my face, I wouldn't have had to remove it. So Tomtoc, I'm not going to remove this logo. It does look great, so don't come at me. They got rid of the old flap design in favor of a more standard look. Functionally, it's better, but I liked the flap design and this different coated section here. I think visually it just gave it more character. The T67 did add latch points to the bottom, which look nice, I guess, but it's an odd position because anything you latch is now dangling below the bottom of the bag. I think the latch point should have been towards the top here. And they made the horizontal zipper into a vertical zipper. Functionally, it's more usable, but I like how it was hidden by the flap on the old version. The handle was updated to the type you'd see on more expensive bags, very padded and comfortable in the hand, although the old version was still pretty good. But Tomtoc should have added a second handle to the bottom. The bag opens like a duffel anyways, so it makes sense to carry it from these two ends, especially because they removed the side handle from the T66, which I didn't really use very much, but I mean, they probably could have just kept it there. The T66 has 2 water bottle holders, while this new T67 changed one of them to a zip pocket. I personally liked the 2 bottle holders, so wasn't a huge fan of this change, but I think most people carry just 1 bottle, so it should be fine. The back panel got a redesign to a vertical luggage pass-through, which I like. It makes it so the bottles don't slip out. And finally, on the laptop sleeve, they added microfiber lining, which is great, and upgraded to a nicer mesh on this pocket, in addition to all the gray fabric inside. So as you can see, the changes were small quality of life upgrades or a switch to more premium hardware, and I think this was smart. Functionally, the previous T66 didn't need changes, so I'm glad Tomtoc kept it mostly the same. That's the advantage of a budget brand. Like when Apple only makes small changes to the iPhone, people get mad because there's an expectation that a premium brand at that price is going to add something innovative and worth the upgrade. At least that's how I feel. But Tomtoc isn't Apple. They aren't Air or Peak Design or Bellroy, and they aren't trying to be. The customer isn't expecting a total redesign, so Tomtoc has that advantage of keeping the bag mostly the same and upgrading only what the customers ask for, because half of these changes are things I pointed out in my old review. Okay, so that covers the changes, and now I'll just quickly go through the actual review. The bag's made for travel/weekend trips, and that's what I used it for, but it can also fold small enough to be an everyday bag, sort of. I'll start with the straps, which are the most impressive part of the bag. They're contoured and comfortable with thick padding. I mean, they feel kind of like Air straps, but less rigid. And there's also a chest strap, which for me is a must on travel bags over 30 liters, since packed out, it gets kind of heavy, especially if you're walking a lot. The back panel is also well padded with mesh and air channels both ways and that luggage pass-through, and I like that it flexes. The bottle pocket fits a 32-ounce hydro flask, and I like that it's made mostly of material with just a strip of mesh to hold it flat. I don't personally like the pockets made mostly out of mesh, they just feel like they're gonna rip, but I do wish the pocket was a little deeper. The front has 2 buckles with a couple of uses. Mostly they're compression straps because the bag actually folds pretty flat when I needed it to, but I also used it to strap down my bottle a little bit. Or sometimes I just hung stuff from it like a jacket. Visually, I think it makes the bag look a little nicer. On the top, there's a quick access pocket about this large, and I used it for sleeping masks, AirPod chargers, chapstick, stuff like that, but it's fairly flat, it doesn't have a ton of volume. And on the front, we have a pretty clean look with that recycled fabric. They didn't list the exact material, but it feels like a thinner Cordura Recore, which is the ballistic nylon used on Air's Pro packs, just for reference. And Tomtoc also does use Cordura on their other packs, but I don't think they used it here. Opening up the bag, I'll show you where Tomtoc continues the creativity that was on the previous version. So inside, there's no organization except for this hard flap, which folds down when you want to keep the bag pretty slim, and it folds up to fit this sidewall to give it some structure in duffel mode. And I used it mostly in duffel mode because I packed it out a lot for travel. And that hard flap also protected the bottom of the bag when I put it down. But here's what the bag looks like completely flat, as more of an everyday bag. The main area fits about 35 liters or about 5 days worth of stuff, and it's nice that there's a lighter color in there now. But I still wish there was a zip pocket on the top. It kind of looks like wasted space. There's also a great laptop compartment similar to like the Patagonia Mini MLC with a sleeve that opens fully. On this side there's a 17-inch laptop that's microfiber lined and a tablet sleeve, both to protect from drops with that false bottom. And on this side there's just one pocket. But this T67 has a trick I haven't seen on any other bags besides the old T66. It has these tabs which zip open to access the main compartment. And it was weird when I first saw this design, but it kind of made sense after using it. The problem I've had with some duffel backpacks is they usually work better as one or the other, even though they can technically do both. And to me, this bag looks like it's a better duffel because in backpack mode, access to the main compartment looks kind of difficult. Like I really couldn't open it just slung over my shoulder or even putting it down on the ground. Like it kind of had to be flat just to get inside the bag. But these 2 tabs solve that problem because now I can access the main compartment through the laptop zipper and it opens a lot more like a traditional backpack. Or if you're like me and pack the stuff you need at the bottom, you can just flip the bag over and access the completely other side without taking everything out. And to me, this was a really creative and simple solution that also doesn't add weight. I haven't seen any other bags do this, and it's cool to see on a budget bag of all things. Like it shows that good ideas can come from anywhere. And finally, we have to talk price. I mentioned Air and Bellroy, Peak Design, and Patagonia packs, and they're generally priced around $200 to $250 US, and this T67 at $99 is a hell of a value. If I had this in hand and was asked to guess the price, it feels closer to $150. The component upgrades from the previous T66 definitely helped. Of course, there's no lifetime guarantee or brand prestige if you care about that, and the bag looks, I guess, kind of boring. But this is absolutely my recommendation if you're looking for your first real travel backpack. It's a perfect carry-on size, has better backpack straps than any convertible duffel I've used, great laptop storage, and all the features you'd need with a couple of tricks. Since reviewing the T66 last year, I've been lucky enough to test some expensive bags, but I think videos like these help the people the most because price is usually the #1 determining factor in any purchase. So kudos to Tomtoc for making a worthy follow-up to last year, and not charging out the ass for it. Anyways, comment below if you want a response, let's talk, and subscribe for new videos on Sundays. Thanks.